I'm going to start with my favorite question about developing a story. Can you guys tell me what idea number one was, the thing that started this all? But then I also want to know if you had a break story moment, something you came up with along the way that made it feel whole.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I think the thing that started it all, we always start from this kind of like abstract, wide place. And the thing that we got really excited about was this question that we were asking ourselves: can we create a horror thriller film where you replace jump scares and you replace the monster in the shadow with dialogue and philosophical ideas? Can those become the thing that's generating tension? And can you basically do a movie that's it's a chamber piece, it's all conversation and still kind of unsettle and provoke? And for us, that the topic of religion is kind of in many ways one of our greatest fears, is what happens when we die. It's a great mystery. Is there anything after death, or is there nothing? And those kind of all those ideas together felt like the start of Heretic.
Great success in that respect. The tension at the beginning of this movie in particular is just like through the roof. I'm not going to get into spoilers yet. I will squeeze in one spoiler question. First, I wanted to ask about something that caught my eye in our press notes. You two were talking about your collaboration, and one of you said there's always been this wonderful competitive collaboration when we work together where we push each other to do better. Yeah. Can you each recall a time while making Heretic that the other pushed you to do better, and now we could see it in the finished film?
Yeah, I mean, there's one shot in particular that I can think of that's indicative of this. It's in the trailer, which is kind of this God's eye view of a camera coming up as one of the actresses is climbing up a ladder inside this doll's house diorama. And that was an idea that I think both of us had like a strong point of view for. And we then brought on the legendary Chung Hoon Chung to shoot this movie, the cinematographer. And he kind of became the third voice in that mix. And we were constantly challenging and debating what's the best way to really hit the emotion of this moment, but also create something that feels, hopefully very cinematic too. So.
Yeah, and I think also just when you're dealing with this dynamic of what would people actually do in a terrifying situation, we're always pressure testing. Like, wouldn't they leave? Wouldn't they call for help? Wouldn't they do this and that? So there's not a specific example other than just we're always like kind of fighting it out and trying to make sure the characters are being smart and making good choices.
Love me a horror movie that asks me, how might I fare in that situation? Yeah. Here, I don't think I would do particularly well. I'm not sure if you two thought about this much, but it is something I really appreciated in the film, so I wanted to ask about it. What is it like working with Hugh on the Mr. Reed character in a way where he does lose himself in the role and makes him feel like a fully realized person, but as an audience, as a fan of him as Hugh Grant, I could still have fun with the fact that is Hugh Grant playing a character like that.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of our attraction to Hugh Grant. First and foremost, when we thought of him for this role, is that he has built up so much goodwill with audiences around the world over his romantic comedy movies that we all, love and grew up with. But he's also gotten into this darker side of his persona in the last 12 years since Cloud Atlas. And we love how the mash of those two, the charm, the wit, but the intellect and that darker edge all coalesces into this role.
And it's crazy seeing him on set because he's really it feels like a method actor. He is Mr. Reed, and you're looking at Mr. Reed and you're talking to Mr. Reed, and then we'll wrap and then he'll go home and he's dressed like he looks like a movie star. He's so handsome and cool, and it's like, who is this guy? We've been hanging out with Mr. Reed all day long. It's amazing.
I love seeing him dip into more villainous roles lately. I'm just tickled by also how much fun he seems to be having with them. Yeah. So at this point, I am going to put the spoiler warning up. If you haven't seen Heretic, go watch it, and maybe go watch it again, because it's a watch that gets more and more rewarding with every single viewing. So you brought this up before, the idea of wanting to make a horror movie that is scary via dialogue, but in the middle of the movie, there is a noticeable shift in terms of atmosphere, vibe, and also how you scare the audience. So what was the key to making that shift and upping the intensity, but while still making the entire thing feel like a fluid experience?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think, our inspiration to a certain degree was like Dante's Inferno. You're going to go deeper into the depths of hell, and you're going with the characters there. For us, it also was stripping back from production design to the performance, like a rawness, and you're going beneath the layers of what you ostensibly thought was this innocent chat right off the bat, and going into some very dark and violent places where hopefully it's constantly subverting your expectation, but taking you somewhere that hopefully feels inevitable in terms of the course of tension, but also the higher, intellectual debates that they're having about religion too.
We're also activating this weird tool, which is anticlimax as climax. And so we're kind of hoping to misdirect the audience and kind of start to put them into a new movie. But the hope is that it kind of finds its way back to this theological debate by the end of it. But it was a fun, bizarre movie. And I hope it combines our love of lowbrow and highbrow movies, because we love it all. We're just fans of all movies.
I could see it when I watch it, and it works so well. I love how satisfying it is on a second viewing, too. So congratulations. I can't wait to watch it again and again.
Thank you, Perri. Really appreciate it.
So good to see you. We're such big fans of yours.